Wagwan me people, quick thing before we kick off. The views where you hear upon the Father to Father podcast, them strictly for why, the hosts, guests and contributors. Them now represent Catholic Notebook, Spirit Stream Studios, the Diocese, University, or any affiliated groups. You see me? And remember, this podcast are strictly for adult ears, so listen up with discretion.
Welcome to Father, where life and faith meet. A place for the soul, where wisdom speaks. Hope in the message, strength in the beat. Welcome to Father, where life and faith meet.
All right, Ray. What's going on, man?
What's cracking?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's been a minute since we've been in the studio.
You always say that.
Because it always is a minute.
It's usually a week or so.
It's been like 3 now.
No, it's not.
It's like 2?
It was 2.
It's been 2 weeks.
So one more than we usually have.
That's been forever.
Oh my gosh, Rain Man over here.
I know.
No
I know.
object permanence.
I know. I really don't. But anyways, man, I just gotta say, like, you know, at the end of the day, it's been good. It's been good. You look like you fresh. You looking crispy now. You know.
Yeah, I finally cut my hair.
Oh, I saw a video of you, by the way.
Listen,
It was hey, no. It's good. It's good. It was a coach video. It was you giving a talk at a.
Oh.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. My name is Dr. Giovanni. And with me is my right hand, my main man,
Father Greg Lambert.
Hey.
Listen, it's been a week. It's been a week.
It's been a week, apparently. But you know what? What's not been a week? My demands. They're still the same. It doesn't matter. It's going to be the same, regardless of anything. Yeah, we are consistent, and I am consistent. I eat the same thing every single day, and I'm asking you to do the same thing every time you hear our crispy audio coming through your airways. Listen, 5 stars. It's not that hard. It's very simple. 5 stars. You know what pissed me off the other day? I was listening. Someone did a men's retreat.
Oh,
And then
I heard about this.
They said, like, oh yeah, he was so great. And then I went to listen to his podcast because he had a podcast, and I'm like, so Ascension Presents just really just puts people out there just for the sake of putting people out there.
I don't know.
And it's not like I'm not throwing shade at Ascension Presents. I'm just saying that we put a lot of work into the show prep.
I mean, except for Father Mike, we love you, Father Mike.
Yo, Father Mike is untouchable. I will never say a bad thing about Father Mike.
That's true.
Ever. Because I really don't. People already come at me with pitchforks. I don't need I don't need anybody else.
Nah, you'll get sniped.
I really would. And they would not think twice about it. But here's my thing. It's like, yo, they got Ascension Presents. I didn't even realize Ascension Presents puts out as many podcasts as they do. But I mean, it wasn't really that great. And people were like, oh, it was amazing. And I looked at his like reviews, and I was just like, and they're like, it's so real. It's so clever. I'm like, but they didn't really say anything. They cursed a couple of times. And I'm like, is that what it takes? Should I curse? Should I curse? Is that what I need to do to get 5 stars?
Calm down, Eminem. We don't need this.
Is that what you people want? Do you people want me to curse in order to get 5 stars?
This is going to start getting bleeps.
Right now, we're just going to go. So why don't you put stars? That's what it took. Thank you for finally giving us 5 stars. And if you rock with us the hard way and the long way, go to capitalnotebook.org/father. That's capitalnotebook.org/F2F. And drop us drop us a little comment. Go down to, hey, I got a question for you. Oh, hey, I got a fatherly advice question. A lot of people have been sending fatherly advice.
Yeah, it's been a ton.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do and I said this before, like, we got to do a whole show just on fatherly advice.
Sure.
But, it is what it is. Drop fatherly advice. Or like, hey, but hear me out. Is this wild? Something like that. Something quick. But you'll also scroll down and you'll see a little jar. Click on that jar. And it's going to take you to a page. That's to keep the lights on. That's to keep the lights on.
$22.
You could be $14. You could be $8.
It could be $47,000.
All I'm saying is put more than put more than a George Washington because this ain't church.
And it has to be odd numbered, so like $3, $6,
12, 32,
47.
No, we already made that joke. No, we can't do that again. Which also, by the way, we almost got in trouble for that.
What?
We almost got in trouble for that. But
Nobody even watches that movie anymore.
right. But the owner of the thing just said, like, I'll let it slide because they're two black men trying to make a living out there. I was like,
But there's not money involved.
But there's no money involved. It's not even us. It's not even us.
I don't get paid by this.
No,
this is strictly for vibes.
Yeah, the funny thing is, if they only knew the person that owns everything is white.
That's true.
Oh well.
The U.S. government.
Hey.
Anyway,
You ready to get started?
you.
Hey.
Hey, tell me, baby, what's the word on the street? Is it love or is it lies beneath our feet? I'm holding on, but the
All right, you ready for the new segment? Well, it's not really a new segment; it's a revamp segment. It's Today I Messed Up. So, like, Today I Messed Up. Like, remember when Gio was here and we did like Today I Messed Up, and it turned out to be like this really long segment. And it was like, "But hear me out" without the "But hear me out."
Yeah. This is like, it just tells you what you did wrong.
Right, but this they fixed it. They fixed it.
Huh?
They reduced it, and we can get through a lot more. So I'm going to tell you it. You tell me. Very simple. All it is did they mess up? Did they not mess up? That's it. And it's going to be Father Greg stamped and approved.
That's scary. That's
No, it's not just Father Greg. It's the father stamp of approval. All right. So
That's worse.
either they did or they didn't. And if we disagree, then it goes to the audience and they got to figure out whether or not they messed up or didn't. Is that fair?
I
All
guess.
right, let's go. All right. Today I messed up by flirting with a nun. I thought she was really a spiritual woman at a coffee shop. We had a deep conversation about suffering and vocation, and I said, "You have such a peaceful energy. I bet you'd be a great mom." She smiled, held up her rosary, and said, "That's why I married Jesus."
Oh?
So did he mess up? Nah, I don't think he messed up. I don't think he messed
That's
up.
a compliment.
I feel like in that type of situation, it's more so like he was just like, man, this is why nuns need to just wear their habits. Like, I'm sick and tired of nuns not wearing habits.
That was not the question. The question was, did she mess up? I said no. That's all I had to say.
But all I'm saying is, like, if she wore her habit, there'd be no confusion. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Next one. Today I messed up. At church, the priest said something in Latin and pause. I thought it was like a call and response, and I confidently repeated it. Turns out he was praying for the recently deceased, and I basically shouted "Amen" for the dead guy in the middle of the funeral. Then they asked me to sit down. Yeah, you messed up. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
you
sorry.
messed up.
You messed up all the way. Like, why?
He was trying to be, fully active and conscious and participate.
I love that for him.
But
No, I do love it for him. It's a new Catholic energy, though. That screams new Catholic energy.
yeah, I mean, he's excited to be there. That's good.
Yeah.
He's got the good energy.
All right. Today I messed up by offering my therapist a snack. I was nervous. First session, I didn't want to seem guarded. So she asked how I felt. I panicked and I said, "Would you like a Pop-Tart?" She blinked and we both knew this was going to take a while.
She gonna put that in your report too.
Talk. What was the question for you? Has there been ever a situation where someone has said something to you and you're just like, you sat down for like a meeting or whatever, then all of a sudden the next thing out of their mouth was just kind of like this, like, you're like, "How you doing?" You're like, "The world is where," like,
Yeah, I got a story for you.
all right, go ahead.
This happened during my first stint trying to get into seminary, right?
Oh, shoot.
So I was 17 turning 18. So I was applying. And for those of you who don't know, it is hellacious trying to get into seminary because there's a lot of screening that needs to happen. So that being said, I was a kid. I was pretty mature for my age, but also I was still a kid. So I didn't know how to process all the times when I felt really nervous. I tried to make other people laugh. And that's just kind of like a defense mechanism at the same time.
Right.
So I go into my psychological evaluation, which is the official psychological evaluation that will take hours and hours to do. And that's what they're going to go and reference whether or not you are mentally fit to be a shepherd of Jesus Christ.
It's a minimum of 6 hours, by the way.
Yes, it is intense, and it can take 2 days to do. You can leave and go home, but like you got to do other stuff in other sections.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting across from this dude who looks like old Ray Romano. Just like that. White hair, white beard, no feedback in his face at all. Like it's the most intimidating thing. And he's asking you like kind of deep questions and then very mundane questions. You don't know if the mundane questions are supposed to tell you that they're deep or the deep questions are the ones that are actually mundane. You have no idea.
Right.
And you think that you can like, kind of maybe outsmart him. You're 45 minutes in and you're like, I'm tired, but you got another 2 hours to go. He don't know tired, right? So he asked me the question. He goes, Gregory, do you think that you're an attractive man? And now immediately in my head, I'm thinking like, if I go too hard and say I am attractive, then he's going to say that I'm vain. But if I say that I'm not attractive, he's going to say that I have no confidence. So what do? And so I decided to crack a joke. Bad place to crack a joke. And I said, well, you know, some might call me devilishly handsome. And he looks at me, doesn't crack a smile, writes on his board. He goes, devilish. And then writes that down and said, but what I meant by that is, what I meant by that is,
Nah. All he heard was, can I let you in on a little secret? This is behind the curtain in terms of from a psychologist, like what we do. If you stop and you pause, the next word that comes out of your mouth is going to be a gut instinct word. That gut instinct word is going to speak more than any other word that you say that comes next. So the fact that you pause and you're like, and then you're like, I'm devilishly, and they're like, It wasn't like, yo, you bad, because yo, Lucifer was an angel. He just fell really, really hard.
really hard.
That was the thing. Like, and that's what we do all the time. It's wild.
That's crazy.
People don't realize that. It's like we pay attention to every single word that you say, and then like it's usually that first word, or like we have a system. Like, so psychologists don't, and this is the difference between counselors and psychologists. Psychologists do not read into what you say. They can't.
Yeah.
Because the test itself has metrics, and so like it is very rare that you'll take a test, like an oral examination with a psychologist, and then say an answer that is not in the big psychometric book of responses. This is curated over the course of like 60 years. And so it has pretty much every answer that anyone's given. The unfortunate part is when I went through the evaluation, I also read the psychometric book. Well, because I was in the field. And so it does put a weird thing. And I had to disclose to the guy like, hey, look, this is where I am. I've been in mental health. I've done this, I'm a psychologist in this sense, and, I'm doing counseling in this sense, and da-da-da-da. And he's like, oh. And when that happens, they have to bring another evaluation, which is a specific psychologist evaluation for psychologists trying to apply into the priesthood. And that is a completely different evaluation.
You got the DLC.
Yeah, dude, it is a 22-hour evaluation.
My gosh.
We have to sit down and we got to talk. And like every answer is like curated because it knows that you know what we're talking about. And so it'll say like, for example, oh, do you ever feel depressed? And then the series of responses would be like, what do you mean by depression? Are you using depression in the clinical sense? Are you saying depressed in terms of the cultural sense? Are you saying depressed as terms of and it has all these different variations of it.
Is what it is.
Yeah, man. It's
wild. What it is.
It's wild. So don't beat yourself too hard. I mean, it wasn't too bad.
I mean, I'm here now, right?
You are. That's all that matters.
Eventually.
That's all that matters. All right, let's keep going. Today I messed up by texting my priest instead of my date. I was about to meet a new guy and I meant to text, wear something sinful. A devil horn smiley face. Instead, I sent it to Father Leon.
Leon.
He replied,
Why?
I'm wearing vestments and I'm praying for you. I haven't recovered.
Oh my gosh. Leon's always got it.
Today I messed up by sleeping with my theology professor's son. I didn't know who he was. He said dad was big in church circles. I found out when I walked into lecture and saw the professor holding his phone whispering, "Is that her?" I dropped the class. I might be joining the convent. Okay, so these are two in a row. We didn't do the last one. So the last one, who sent Father Leon the text like, "Hey yo, wear something simple." He's like, "I'm wearing investments and I'm praying for you." She's like, "I still haven't recovered." Did she mess up? I say yes.
Yeah, no, she did.
And for sleeping with the son of the theology professor,
yeah, she did.
she messed up.
She messed
also,
up.
the theology professor's like, "Who was it?" Point her out. I want to know the Jezebel. Like what? Like what? Like FaceTiming is like, who is she? Is that her? He's like, yeah, Dad. Ah.
And if she dropped the class, that's not even her major. She was doing this probably for him.
Yeah, probably.
I'm not doing this anymore. I'm done.
He's like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. That only hurts the professor. Because you need a certain amount of students taking your class anyways. It's like, I'll just theology 101. Anyways, that's it. That's it. Today I messed up. It's a much faster, funner segment.
Hey, tell me, baby, what's the word on the street? Is it love or is it lies beneath our feet? I'm holding on, but the world feels incomplete. Tell me, baby, what's the word on the word?
Insane. You ready for the next one? All right. Just hear me out. It's going to be good. You know the rules. 5 stars. You in the clear. I don't think we've given it 5 stars in a good minute. We've given it 1 5-star in like 14, 15, 20 episodes, whatever. Like,
Yeah, something like that.
since we've been out, we've only given 1 5-star.
Yeah.
That's wild to me.
And that really might have been like a trial run. I'm like, I wonder if like what would happen if I give him a 5-star. It could be a 4, but you know, let's go with a 5. Let's go with grace.
All right. But 5 stars, you're in the clear. 1 star. Father Greg has confessions on Thursdays. All right. But hear me out. Is it bad to have standards and a consistent definition of what family is?
It's gonna get you kicked out. I tell you this. I'll tell you this. You're gonna have problems beyond what you can comprehend, sir. People hate standards. They hate standards. I can tell you stories. Anyway, sorry. Continue.
Trauma much? All right. I'm Mariana, 56. And I've been married to my husband, Brandon, for 11 years. We have 2 biological children together, Nathan and Lily. I have a stepdaughter, Helena, who is 17. Nathan is 12. Lily is 10. From my late husband. I've raised her since she was 6 after her father passed away. We don't use the word step in the house, but legally I'm her stepmother. She was never formally adopted by Brandon or by me after her father's death. And we've also been fostering a girl named Talia, who's 15, for about 2 years now. She's quiet, thoughtful, and overall gets along with Helena. Honestly, they're like sisters. Last month, I decided it's time for new family portraits. I wanted something tasteful, professional, and official. something that we can hang in the living room and send to relatives and use for Christmas cards. I scheduled a photographer and brought matching cream sweaters and picked a golden hour slot at a nice park. I told the kids that we take some casual shots later with everyone. More candid, relax, just for us photos. But official portrait was going to be just Brandon, me, Nathan, and Lily, our nuclear unit. When Helen overheard heard me telling Talia very gently that she didn't need to wear the sweater because she wasn't going to be part of the official photos, I kindly explained I thought that the official portrait was going to be our legal family only. But we obviously include Helena in the unofficial shots afterwards. Talia nodded, but she looked upset, crushed. Helena completely shut down. She didn't say much on the drive. She barely spoke when the photographer set up. And when it came time to pose, she just stood next to Talia on the bench, arms crossed. After we finished the portraits, the photographer offered to take a few more candid shots with the whole group. Before I could say anything, Helena stood up and grabbed Talia by the hand and said, "Let's take a real family photo, just us." Then, in front of everyone, including Brandon, the photographer, and the younger kids, she turned and said, "You know what, Marianne? If biology is what counts, then you're just the woman who married my dad. Not my real mom."
Oh, God. From the top rope with the chair through the table. Tax included.
I felt insulted. She never called me by my first name.
That's all she's going to call you for the rest of your life.
I didn't respond. I gathered the kids and we went home. I haven't said much to Helena since, other than tell her I was hurt.
How do you get bodied by a 15-year-old? My God, Michael, he is broken in half. My goodness.
And what she said was cruel and unnecessary. And now Brandon is caught in the middle. Talia barely came out of her room. Helena's not speaking to me. My sister says I created a weird caste system in my own household. We're not even Indian.
It's a hostile work environment, if you will.
Dog, she said we're not even Indian.
She's watching too much Netflix.
But I think I was being realistic. There are people who are officially part of the family and unofficially part of the family. Family is complicated. I didn't mean to be mean. I just wanted one photo that reflected the reality of our situation. This is the family that I and Brandon actually built. This is the family that we were left with.
It only gets worse.
We stood to include everyone in the unofficial shots that were not going to go in the living room.
Oh my gosh. What?
But now they're treating it like I declared them like they were strangers. So hear me out. Is it bad that I have standards and a consistent definition of what family is?
Yo.
And I was accommodating by having another photo for non-family.
Oh my gosh.
Compared to the one we did earlier, this was like, yo.
I am beside myself.
You're flummoxed.
I am flummoxed. I am flabbergasted.
Marianne, you made us flummoxed. All right, so here's the recap. I'm just going to give it to you. Oh, man. Marianne was married to Brandon for 11 years. They have 2 biological kids, Nathan and Lily. Then she, according to her, she had another kid, Helena, that came from another marriage. She never truly adopted the kid. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, hey, yo, she just took the kid with her, which kind of weird, mind you. I don't know how that works, but whatever. Yeah. Talia is a foster child that they are adopting. So Helena and Talia aren't part of the biological family type of thing. Mm-hmm. So Marianne's like, hey, yo, I'm just going to let you know this for free. we gonna have family photos, but we gonna have 2 sets of family photos. We got the official family and we got the unofficial family photos.
Yo.
So the official family photos is me, Brandon, Nathan, and Lily. And just so you know, Talia, you ain't part of the official family. Helena, you ain't part of the official family because you didn't come from me. I just inherited you, apparently. Well, that's how that works. And then
You chose to adopt the chick. Like, she just fell out of the sky?
she has guardianship. She's not like adopted. She just has guardianship. So it's like, it is what it is.
You had to apply for that. They're not just giving out kids.
That's what I'm saying. The dad died. She would have had to sign for guardianship or custodianship over the kid.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why she's just like, I don't, it's like, you're not actually my kid. Like, come on.
Oh, my goodness.
And so, like, they get the photographer and everybody's like, and she goes, hey, can we just have a photo of just the 2 of us? Mm-hmm. And then it's like, oh, well, we can join. It's like, no. Marianne, if biology counts, then you're just a woman who married my dad, not my real mom. And it's like, I mean, and she's like, I have never been insulted in my life. And she felt a certain type of way that she got called Marianne instead of mom.
Well, mom means that you embrace your children, all of them, however they come.
And then her sister is like, yo, you made a caste system. And she's like, we're not Indian. I didn't make a caste system.
Stop watching Netflix.
It's like, what is this? And then it's like, yeah, there's just people who are officially part of the family and unofficially part of the family, and the unofficial people part of the family will not be in the living room photos. They would just be in the regular photos. You have the unofficial photos.
That is terrible. That's 10 times worse. That is the worst thing she can say in that situation, because at the end of the day, yeah, you're part of the, family, asterisk. We'll just put you in the garage. You'll put your photos in the garage. Like, you're there. You're in the house-ish, kind of.
And she says, like, she told Talia, and Talia nodded, and she looked upset. Okay,
Yeah.
crushed.
Yeah,
And she says, it's upset, okay, crushed.
yes, because she said in her head, I finally have a family.
Yeah, and then Talia's like, oh, cool, we're taking family photos. This is awesome. It's like, oh, no, you don't have to put that on. You're not actually part of the family. You're going to
Yes.
be part of the unofficial family photos.
Yes.
And it's like, oh.
So we're more like partners. We're not
Yeah,
really
we're
family.
not family. I'm just in a committed relationship here.
Yeah, until I'm 18. Like,
Yeah.
that's
and
what
then
this is.
And then I'm out. So deuces.
Unless I become successful and I make you proud, and then I'm part of the family. We're related. That's how that happens.
Yeah. So, hey, what do you think? I'm going to give you runway. What do you think?
Oh my gosh. My goodness. I'm like heartbroken, but also just bewildered. Like, I can't believe
Someone out here really doing this?
yes, that with the audacity to ask the question, am I in the wrong for this?
She's
my
like,
gosh.
I have a consistent definition, which, you know what? I will say this. I'm actually, like, impressed that she maintained her consistent definition all the way through. Mm-hmm. And that it's not like, oh, she modified herself to the end. She's like, no. There are people who are part of the family, and then there's the unofficial family, and that's it. And I'm just being consistent. And just because I want to be consistent, now I'm the bad guy. She used my real government name instead of calling me mom. That is the offense here.
Oh my gosh. I want to point out something.
All right, go
and that's where I'm going to start. The 2 girls, the one who was adopted and the one who came from the other marriage.
Can we pause for a second?
Yeah.
Just keep this in mind. They sat on the bench
Yeah.
watching them take family photos.
Yes.
And they're not like 7, 8 years old. It's 15 and 17.
Yep. Those are the times.
Sitting on the bench.
They will say something to you.
What? Okay.
And I can tell you this. Those 2, because of their background and where they came from, already had a kinship. Because she said earlier, they're really like sisters. And they probably did commiserate over the fact that neither of them really, air quotes here, you guys can't see this, but belong to the family.
Or have a dad.
Yeah, they felt that. They knew it.
Yeah.
You don't got to tell them that. They know that already. And so they became kin over something like that because no one else really knows what they're going through except for them 2.
Right.
Right? And so what ended up happening was she had to stand up and say, you know what? We're going to take family pictures, just us together, not you guys. She was standing up for her sister. And what she did, what Marianne did, I'm going to call her Marianne too. What Marianne did was that she stepped on the umbilical cord of that relationship.
Ah, that image. That image.
It's as bad as it could have possibly been. So I'm going to tell you this directly to your face. You owe them an apology. You owe them an apology, and you're going to rip your family apart because you're doing something like creating a caste system for these young people. They're going to end up growing up in life and never wanting to come home because that's not going to be their home. That's going to be their homestead.
Yeah.
The place where they stay.
Yeah.
When they're not in college.
Well, and on top of that, like, how do you expect to, just from a practical standpoint, and you have parents all the time that come to me and say, like, oh, my kids aren't listening to me. Oh, my kids aren't doing this. And my kids are doing that. And I'm just like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Be consistent.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, this same mom would come to me and be like, I was consistent. I had a consistent definition of what it is. And I'm like, are you paying attention to what you're doing right now? Because
She's not.
Because you're not being consistent at all. Because like you took two kids and said, you are mine. You are worth more to me than my other two kids.
Yes.
Because it's not like those other two kids. Here's the other thing.
I got them off of free agency.
Right. Well,
That's what that is.
Here's the thing that pisses me off. The foster kid, this is the thing that people don't realize with foster kids. You get paid
Yes.
by the state
Yes.
lots of money per month. Like sometimes damn near $2,000-$3,000 per month. And in most cases, it's enough for you to more than certain take care of that kid.
Yes.
So she's probably getting a check about like $2,000 to $3,000 a month, if not a little bit more, depending on the state that she lives in, to take care of that kid. And you have the audacity to say that she ain't part of your family, and you're getting a paycheck from the government to take care of that kid.
Let that kid see you buy a new hot tub that you know you can't afford. I'd be flipping tables, throwing chairs.
I'm just saying. I'm just gonna let you know this for free. After this situation, I guarantee you, Harold is gonna look at the foster care paperwork because part of the foster care paperwork says that she's supposed to, like, Talia is supposed to get a allowance every single month. That is a certain percentage of the money that she's supposed to get to the that the family's supposed to get. So if they get $4,000 a month, like, I'm just gonna use Maryland numbers because I know Maryland numbers. Like, yo, if you get $4,000 a month, right, in Maryland, that's a low bottom number. One kid, $4,000 a month, fine. The kid gets $1,500 straight up as allowance. So
if we're not family, and this is a business decision.
we ain't family no more. Where's my $1,500?
Exactly. This is a business decision.
And on top of that, if you didn't give the kid the $1,500 from the very jump, they are entitled to get every single payment from the jump. So the moment they step foot in your house to the moment that they leave, you're supposed to give them their money.
you don't want to get sued by no 15-year-old
How you gonna feel?
and lose,
How you gonna feel?
bro.
And then get audited by the IRS asking you, what'd you do with the money? How come you didn't give her money?
all this because you didn't want to snap a photo and put it in your living room.
Which to me, I'm just sitting there going like, but why though?
But that sounds. I'm not gonna put words in your mouth because I don't know what it is, but it sounds like I am ashamed of you.
Yeah.
That's how that comes off.
It is. And the fact is you pulling her aside and being like, hey, look, listen, this has nothing to do with you. This has everything to do with, like, I did not give birth to you. And I just, like.
And for that reason, I do not want you to be seen with my family in our living room where people see it.
Right.
How do you explain that away?
This is the thing. If she would have, this would have been fine if she would have just been like, hey, yo, everybody, let's take a family photo. Everybody look the same.
Yep.
We take that family photo. Boom. That photo's going to go on the wall in our family because anybody who walks in then knows this is our family. Also, by the way, I want to take a personal photo
Yeah.
because, like, whatever.
Yeah.
Let's take a photo with us. Okay, now I want to take a photo just with the babies. I want to take a photo just with the girls. Like, you could do it that way and still get what you wanted, but no, you needed for them to know you are not part of my family.
You will not be in the living room. It was the extra part that gets me, dog. It's the extra part of not being, because you didn't even say that. No one needed to say that. That's that extra sear. Like, why?
You ain't gonna be in the living room. We got a big photo up here, and so I'm looking at that, I'm like, dang. Could you imagine if we take a group photo and, like, the whole staff is there, but we leave out Steve?
Because now I need to know, where's the photo going to be? Where did you put it?
It's probably in the living room. To be fair, it's probably
It has to be in the living room. But this is not on the wall. It's like in the little cutout, on the coffee stand.
But you see, here's the problem, though. Let's say they did take another group photo. The two girls don't have what everybody else has on.
Yeah.
So now you have an even bigger issue. Like, yeah, you have a family photo, but yet these two girls ain't having on what everybody else has on. So are you really going to keep that photo?
Nah, you're not.
It's so many problems. I know what I'm giving. You know what you're giving?
I know what I'm giving.
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
1 star.
Hey, there is no other answer but 1 star on this. I challenge anybody to tell me otherwise.
She gonna call back and be like, I want to plead my case.
If she does, she's more than welcome to. Go ahead, plead your case.
I'm not mean, I'm fair.
But hear me out.
Every word's a fire, lighting the night. Every beat's a heartbeat, shining so bright. Truth and mercy, woven so tight. The story lives on in rhythm and love.
Talk to me. Tell me a story, man. So what's good? Give me a Bible story. Make it hot, make it alive. I don't know. Entertain me.
Oh my gosh.
Show me your.
Where's the parishioners? Get up
Entertain
there and
me.
make me laugh.
No, I don't want you to make me laugh. You're not that funny.
My biggest cross is I'm hilarious.
Oh,
And the issue is, not only am I hilarious, I have to learn how to be hilarious at the appropriate times.
oh.
Because if you share my cross, that means that you know what it's like when you're hilarious at the wrong times. Marriages end.
Yeah. You know, I don't know this whole thing about like people talking about like sleeping on the couch. Like, oh, I did something, so I'm sleeping on the couch.
Well, it doesn't really work in this family. Like,
It doesn't.
We sleep on couches like normally.
Yeah, I mean, like everyone sleeps on the couch because it's just like whatever, it's comfortable. No, but like, I don't get it. But anyways, go ahead.
So the feeding of the 5,000.
Yeah.
Here we go. So Jesus is in a boat. He's withdrawing to a deserted place. The crowds hear that he's going there.
Right.
They're like, Jesus, oh my gosh. It's like Lollapalooza. And they all start following him. And Jesus is like, all right, cool. I love you guys. Here we go. Now he's got his apostles and his disciples with him. Now this is a very large crowd, hence feeding of the 5,000. There's tons of people who are followers of Jesus. There are tons of people who are just there because something incredible is happening. There's people who are leaving their entire livelihoods. There's
Right.
people who are coming from different villages just to see Jesus. So
Some people just want food.
exactly. Some people just want food. So he's getting pressed upon, my guy. Pressed. And so at this point, Jesus thinks he's going to be funny because usually he is really funny. And he sits down. He says, man, all these people are out here. We should feed them. And then the very smart disciple turns around and goes, hey, listen, Jesus, I hear what you're saying. So like 200 to 300 days wages wouldn't be enough for us to feed all these people. So I don't really
Wait,
know.
wasn't that Judas?
Was it Judas?
Was that Judas? Was that Judas?
We don't really know.
I'm pretty sure it was Judas, though.
It was not Judas.
It wasn't Judas?
It wasn't Judas, but he did hold the money bag. So it could have been Judas.
I could just imagine Judas sitting there just like he's just holding the money bag, and then Jesus is like, man, we need to feed these people. He goes, excuse me? We don't got money like that. They can all go home. Like 200 days wages won't even feed these people. We only got 300 days wages with us. Come on, man.
And that's our whole entire budget.
That's our budget for the year.
How are we going to get to Galilee?
We still gotta sleep and eat ourselves. Just what are you doing?
You don't need an ATM receipt when you got Judas. He will tell you exactly how much money we have in there.
Yo, Judas, how much we got? We got 35 coins. 30 of them coming from me.
Is it too soon for lunch? Anyway. Oh, Good Friday. Anyway. So what ends up happening is Jesus turns to them. He says, we should feed them. And they're like, yo, we don't got it. like legit, we ain't got it.
Right.
And then one guy thinks he's going to help. And he points out one little kid. And he's like, there's a kid here who's got 5 loaves and 2 fish. And I know everyone was probably silent looking at him like, word. I said, we need to feed 5,000 people. And you looked at me and you said 5 loaves and 2 fish. What are we going to do with 5 loaves and 2 fifths? Huh? Bartholomew?
You know what? Listen, I'm just trying to come up with solutions. Judas didn't even give you the money.
He just gave you facts, and facts don't care about your feelings. Oh my gosh. And so Jesus turns to them and basically gives them the reiteration of like, well, you know, if you got faith, you can do everything. So he takes the fish, he takes the loaves, and he breaks them into enough pieces that everybody can eat. Before he even does that, he has everyone lay out on the grass, right? And this is a beautiful scene. Like they're all out in the plains in this tall grass, and they're laying on it, so it's like nice and soft. And everyone's reclining. Like they're not sitting down eating; they're reclining on grass. Like I'm beautiful.
Chief. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Is that a centipede?
No, it could be me. I would be beside myself like, hey yo, Grant, come here. I'm gonna recline.
No, you are not, sir.
Well, I don't want to be on the ground.
You won't get in trouble because you're going to be there with the whole entire family, and Sophie's going to be like, I don't want to sit on the ground. It's dirty. And then there's going to be some random woman who's going to be like, you can recline on me. And Brittany's going to be pissed.
Yeah.
Like, you better not recline on him.
All right. Fine, I guess.
He says begrudgingly. And so they feed all these 5,000 people, and they have 12 wicker baskets full afterwards.
Yeah.
And I find this, one, not only beautiful, but two, that God not only fed the people that were with him, because he didn't have to feed them. He could have said, like, hey, you know, I've given you everything I can possibly give you. I've let you see miracles. I've blessed you. I've healed you. Some of you were blind, and now you see. And some of you were lame, and now you can walk. And some of you had leprosy, and now you're clean. You can go back to your communities. And now you want to eat. He would have been within his right to do that. A normal human being probably would have done that. I've given you everything, and I'm tired. I would try to go off to a deserted place, and you followed me. Be gone, she-bears. Like, he could have done that. He could have done that.
That's true.
But he didn't. He fed them because he cares about each and every individual that was there that followed him. And why is it that we follow Christ and believe that he doesn't care about us? That he's not listening to us, that he doesn't see that we're hungry for something more. He cares, and he does more than just care. He loves because he knows us intimately. Could you imagine, because this is true, could you imagine, even though it doesn't say this in Scripture, that Jesus Christ looked at each and every person as he was giving them fish and loaves and knows exactly who they are?
That's wild.
He knows their sins. He knows what they're made for. He knows how good they are, and he's feeding them.
Can I take it one step further?
Yeah.
Those 5,000 people that we count, it's only the guys.
Yes.
It's only 5,000 guys.
Yes.
How much more people were there?
Wives and kids.
That's a lot of people, man. That's wild.
Absolutely.
You know what? Thanks for the story, man.
Of course.
I appreciate it.
In every heart, in every land, the greatest story still stands. Oh, whoa.
Man, that was a good show.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, man. Yo, for all of us, Catholic Notebook, Spirit Stream Studios, everybody in between, we love you. You're very special.
Go forth and bear good fruit.
We out.
Father to Father, where life and faith meet.
Father to Father is a production of Spirit Stream Studios. All rights reserved.